For this video, I want to go over the Schedule B for the Form 1116 Foreign Tax Credit. So Schedule B is specifically covering the foreign tax carryover reconciliation. So you might find yourself in a place where you need to complete the Form 1116 for the foreign tax credit, but you might not necessarily have Schedule B, right? So Schedule B is going to apply if you have any FTC carryovers. So I have a sample Schedule B in front of us here, and it is part of the larger return. So I've got the 1116 for our taxpayer here as well, and it is part of his complete Form 1040. So we can go through all the schedules and cover all the different pieces and what needs to be reported. In addition to this, I do have the 1099 div that the taxpayer received for the 2022 year. So we'll have a look at that. And then I do have one slide here covering some background on the foreign tax credit and these carryover issues, and then the fact pattern that we're going to be working with as well. So at high level, the Form 1116 is used to claim a foreign tax credit, and that's for individual taxpayers, trusts, and certain types of 990Ts can also file this 1116. The Form 1118 is used for corporate taxpayers. So I won't go into too much detail on the 1116 itself because I want to focus on Schedule B for this video. So if you're not familiar with the foreign tax credit, I have some other videos covering that topic. I'll put those links to those videos below in the description. So go have a look at those if you need some more background info. But the 1116, again, it's used to report the foreign tax credit and foreign taxes you paid on foreign source income. But in a lot of cases, because of the FTC limitations, you might not be able to use all of your foreign taxes in the current year as a credit. So that's why we have these carryovers. And that's where Schedule B comes into play. So Schedule B helps us reconcile the prior year foreign tax credit carryovers with our current year taxes and overall the current year foreign tax credit calculation. So we look at our fact pattern here. And then we'll get into the 1116 in Schedule B, and we'll see how all these pieces work together for our taxpayers. So the taxpayer here, John Taxpayer, invests in some publicly traded RICs. So RICs are regulated investment companies. And in prior years, the 1099 div that John had some foreign taxes withheld. So in 2018 and 2019, he had foreign taxes withheld that were reported on the 1099 div, but he wasn't able to use the full amount of the credit, right? And so for those reasons, he has some foreign tax credit carryovers. So the foreign taxes have been carried forward, and then in 2022, John's 1099 div showed foreign taxes withheld of $375, and the supplemental information from the RICs showed that $2,500 of the $6,304 is foreign source dividend income. All right, and so John's foreign tax credit carryovers, so these were the amounts that were not able to be used in those specific years. In 2018, he had $35 that wasn't able to be used, and that's passive category income, right? And this is important because we have to track our FTC carryovers based on the type of income. So whether it's general category, passive, 951A, and so on. In 2019, taxes paid in that year that he could not use were $47. So that's $47 of, again, passive income. In years 2020 and 2021, he had no foreign source income, so he couldn't use any of the credits. So now he gets to 2022, he has some foreign source income, and he has some foreign taxes withheld. So what can he do here? So if we look at the 1099 div, so when we talk about foreign taxes paid and withheld, we're looking at boxes 7 and 8, right? So if you are invested in a RIC, RICs are allowed to kind of pass on these taxes paid if they distribute a sufficient amount of their income. And so that's why John can take credit for foreign taxes that were withheld at the RIC entity level. So now if we have a look at Schedule B, so this is the reconciliation schedule. And each type of income, so each category of income should have its own schedule. And again, that's because we have to separately track them by income type. So in this case, we have passive category income. So this is a Schedule B just for passive category income. If I had FTC carryovers from passive and general, I would have a separate Schedule B for general category income. So the foreign tax reconciliation, it's 2 pages, and kind of think of it as moving left to right, where if you put them next to each other, it'd be one long page. So the reconciliation, again, if you move left to right, it starts with 10th preceding tax year, 9th, 8th, and so on, and it gets down to 4th, 3rd, 2nd, and 1st. Why is that? It's because foreign tax credits expire after 10 years. So we're tracking them on a 10-year rolling basis, and you track them based on the year that you paid the tax, and then those are separately stated in each column. So if we jump down here really quickly to look at 4th and 3rd, remember in the fact pattern here, John had taxes that were paid but not utilized in years 2018 and 2019. So if we look at page 2 of the FTC reconciliation, again, I'm just starting on the columns here. I'll get through lines 1 through 8 later. But the current year here is 2022, right? So the first preceding year would be 2021. The second would be 2020, then 2019, and 2018. So on line 1, when we enter our FTC carryover, right, from those prior tax years, think of it as, well, if this is the 2022 tax year, this is going to be 2018, and this is 2019. So in our fact pattern, we had $35 of carryover from 2018 and $47 of carryover from 2019. So we enter 35 for the 2018 column, 47 for the 2019 column. Now, the remaining lines, 2 through 8, we'll come back to these after we have a look at the 1116 itself. So John completes the 1116 for the current year, right? It's passive category income. The income is derived from a RIC, and it's dividend income. $2,500 is foreign source dividend earnings. So after he applies the relative amount of standard deduction to the foreign source income, net taxable income, net foreign taxable income here is going to be $2,254. And then he's reported the current year taxes withheld down here on line A. So the 1099 taxes, $375 of foreign taxes withheld at source. And so moving on to part 3, figuring the credit, the current year amount is $375. Now the carryover amount, line 10, $82. Line 10, we report the total amount that's being carried forward from the prior years before we start applying those credits to the current period. So if we look back, remember at Schedule B, the total amount of taxes that he has carrying forward, 35 and 47, $82. So $82 is what's reported here on line 10. And so when we combine the two amounts, the total amount that we have available for credit in the current year is going to be this aggregate, $457. Now moving on to the other line items, right? Our foreign source income, $2,254. Total worldwide, $117,242. That's the total taxable income. So we get our relative percentage here, 0.0192. We apply that to our total taxes for the year. And then we get our maximum available credit for the year is $424. Now, I'm going through these kind of quick because, again, I have other videos where I cover these computations in more detail. But what I wanted to jump to here is the limitation for the current year, right? So $424 is the maximum foreign tax credit that we can take for the current year. Yet we have available $457. So that means that after we apply the amount of credits available, right, what are we going to have left over? Well, $457, we're going to apply $424. So we're going to have $33 in credits left over. So that's going to be kind of a good check figure for us to look at. And again, this also assumes that there's no credits that are going to expire. So if we go back to Schedule B, right, we've already entered line 1. So now we're trying to figure out, well, how much of that credit are we going to actually use, right? So what are the ordering rules for this, and how are the credits going to be used? Well, the current year credit is $375, and the limitation is $424. under the ordering rules, you have to use all the current taxes first. So if we have 424 that's available, or sorry, if we have 375 that's available, and then our limit is going to be 424, it means that we're going to be able to use all of the 375 against this balance. So if we use the 375 against the 424, it means we have $49 of limitation left over to be able to use those carry forwards, $49. So on the roll forward worksheet, and you start with the oldest year first, $49 is what we can use. So we can use all of this year, right, because it's only $35. So we use all of the $35, right? So FTC used in current year, 35. And then if we remove the 35 from the 49, we have $14 left over that we can pull from this year. So based on what we were able to apply for this year, we can use all of the current year, 375. We can absorb the 2018 amount for $35, and then we can use $14 from the 2019 foreign taxes paid. So 47, 14's used, $33 is remaining. Remember our check figure, $33 is the amount of credit that we still cannot use, and this is going to have to be carried forward again. So when everything is said and done, the whole point of this exercise is, okay, so in this year, John had a little bit of a break. His limitation was 424. That was the maximum amount of credit he could take. He had 375 in the current year, so he was going to be able to use all of that. And he had some excess limitation to be able to use the carryovers, but not all of them. So we were able to use a portion of the carryover. Some of it still has to be rolled forward. So when everything is said and done, $424 is going to be used for this year. And so that's going to be reported up here on Schedule 3, right? So the foreign tax credit, $424. And then ultimately that's what John is going to report on page 2 of his Form 1040, line 20. So total taxes owed, $22,078. Can reduce it by the FTC amount, $424. And so the net amount of taxes, U.S. tax liability he has for the year, $21,654. All right, so that covers it for this tutorial. I hope that was helpful. If you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment below. Happy to answer as many as I can. And of course, I look forward to seeing you again on the next video. Thank you.